Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new league racing video on F1 25. This is round number 7 of the PSGL Championship, and we're heading towards Spa, Belgium. And we're heading out for our first Q1 lap. As you can see in the top right, 17 minutes remaining, so a lot earlier than usual. Usually we would be leaving around 9 minutes left to go. But we're heading out because rain is predicted at the end of this session. And yeah, everyone wants to get their laps in, especially due to the fact that Q2 and Q3 are looking to be wet as well. And yeah, that just means we don't have to save a set of tires. If anything, we might even be capable of setting 3 laps there in Q1 if we need it, because we might not use slicks anymore in the rest of qualifying anyway. So yeah, rain Q2 and Q3. Quite looking forward to it actually. I haven't really driven any wet competitively on this game, I feel like. Sometimes we go through 10, 15, 20 races with barely any wet in qualifying, and then sometimes you suddenly get 4 in a row, you know. Championship, as you can see, we're P2, 3 points behind our teammate Freddy Rasmussen, and we're 24 points behind Otis Lawrence, or ahead of Otis Lawrence, sorry. And yeah, he'll be serving a qualifying ban for this round. So yeah, it doesn't mean he's not going to score points. We saw last week with Thomas, he drove from P20 to P6, P5, so you can still get decent points. Reminder, the point system is different as well. It's 16 points for a win. So yeah, being a certain amount of points ahead or behind has a bigger impact relative to the normal point system in F1. So the 24 points we're ahead of Otis would, I think if you calculate, be like 38 points ahead in F1 terms, more or less. Maybe I'm talking waffle, but I think it's something like that. So here we go then. End of Q1. It's a lot of traffic, unfortunately, which, yeah, I would prefer to just have a clean out lap, no traffic, and just mind my own business. But yeah, you can't always predict exactly what everyone else is going to do. So here we go then. Q1, lap 1. Into turn 1 we go. Good rotation. And decent apex as well. Good speed carried. Little flick on the wheel. Like the good old F1 games we're on these days. If you're wondering why we do that, it's just to slow the car down. You do lose a little bit of grip on the front, or at least that's how it feels like it. But yeah, the car just slows down so much more. And, you know, at the start of the game, there was a lot of people saying, oh, you cannot do it in the race because it will cost tire wear. It doesn't. It doesn't really. Yeah, it costs a little bit more tire wear, but it's on the front. And usually the limiting tire in the race is the rear. So it really doesn't matter. And yeah, that's why we do it in the race as well. Especially if you feel like you've slightly missed your braking point. You just flick the wheel, slow the car down, and get around the corner. It's not faster in every corner, but yeah, it's just a handy tool for us. Willis has yielded him to provisional pole at a 140.433. We're going to go into the final section with a 113.113, and that doesn't seem fast enough. We're more looking towards a 140.6.7 with that split. So yeah, let's see what we can do here in the final corner. If we can really clutch it up and set a good banker lap here. But yeah, looks like we're lacking a little bit of pace here. 140.751 puts us P14 with still multiple people to finish the lap. We drop down to P17. But as you can see on our second run, we're 3 tenths up in the middle of the chicane, a little bit of a moment on the exit. But yeah, it's going to be a 3-tenth improvement, and that puts us P11 only. And it was a big improvement, but position-wise, we didn't improve that much. I went out again at the end of Q1, but as you can see, the rain hit with 1.5 minutes to go. And that means that is the end of Q1. No point in setting a lap anymore. And yeah, out in Q1. Otis Lawrence due to the qualifying ban, of course. Joshi Doe, Wilson Huge, Eastman Pookie and Duncan Hovland out in Q1 there. Ourselves in P12. We're not even far off the pace. We're 1.8 tenths away from P1. and 1.4 tenths away from P2. But yeah, it's just so incredibly close. And as you can see, first run in Q2, wet conditions. And this is the very first lap in the wet around here, as far as I remember. Our teammate Freddie Rasmussen with a 154.1. And yeah, this wasn't a good lap. I missed a lot of apexes. I was all over the place. Run out of battery way too early. I just felt like a terrible lap. Honestly, the last chicane looked quite good. Got the car slowed down. Got the apex actually for like the first time in this lap.
I missed every apex under the sun. Holy shit.
It's a 154.7, and that means we're 6 tenths away from P1. And it felt like it was 6 tenths of the pace. So we went out again, and this time the track should be a lot faster. And again, we missed turn 1 slightly. We actually lost 1.3 tenths, even though the track's faster, but we're not... The aim here is not just to get into Q3, it's also to get a good feel for these wet conditions, and that's why I'm pushing so incredibly hard to get a feel for the car. And if I mess up, I hope that I can make up enough time with pushing so incredibly hard. So through the Lecombe we go. I think on the previous lap I completely missed the apex there. So pushing like crazy. We've lost already, I think, at least 2 tenths in turn 1 there. But we're just going to continue to push like crazy. Again, backhand stepping out. Little flick on the wheel to get the car slowed down. But you can see how much drier the track is. And everyone is definitely going to have to improve here. We're down in P8. And into P1 we go. 6 tenths up to our previous lap. So that will put us P1 again. Can't quite keep the backhand stable through P1. But it's still an improvement. Into the next chicane we go. And this looks really clean. Got the front end in nicely. Rear stable. And that is a big improvement. 4/10 gain. 3/4 gain through that chicane. And now into the final sector we go. It's a purple middle sector. 1 second up on Julian Klaffenbach. Ismail Fasti with a 154.0. Currently, we are on for a 153.5. If we can keep this lap together. Our teammate Freddie Rasmussen goes to provisional P1 here in Q2. And we are on for a massive improvement. And honestly, I knew going into this final sector, we could just take it easy because we were so far up on everyone else. We actually lost 2 tenths there in the final corner as well. It's a 153.5, and that puts us comfortably into Q3. Even with the big mistakes in turn 1 and slowing down in the last sector, we managed to squeeze through by quite a margin, actually. 1 second to the cutoff time.
Right, so
Me and Freddie.
Do you want to fuel up at the start or not? Maybe 2 laps? Or not, when we're quite tight actually.
Freddie P1 and P2
It's
there.
dry through the second.
Nearly 4 tenths ahead of P3, so that was really good laps from both of us, even though they were not very clean. To the first run of Q3, this was used tires, and I think that was the case for most people, to be honest. I think for everyone, 153.9, so slower than at the end of Q2, but yeah, the rain intensity was changing all the time. We were in used tires as well, and yeah, only half a tenth away from P1 there. And now we're trying to start our lap as late as possible. Didn't want to leave too big of a gap to the car ahead, of course, because I didn't want to screw over the Williams car behind. So yeah, let's see if we can get turn 1. This time we get it nicely on the apex there. And as you can see, that is going to be a 1/10 gain by the time we will finish this traction zone into a Rouge. Once again, this is going to be quite easily flat out. Up the hill we go. A little bit of a loss as I decided to save a little bit more battery for the final sector. As yeah, I just kept running out really early on the battery, so I had to change my approach a little bit. Through Lecombe we go. Purple first sector, of course, as the track is improving. And that's 1.7 tenths up as we head into the downhill right. I don't know all the corner names. I apologize for that. I know Pouhon, Blanchimont, Eau Rouge. Yeah, that's it. So into Pouhon we go. 2 tenths up. At this point, no idea how much more we need for pole position, of course, because everyone is going to set their lap time in pretty much a 20-second window. So 4 tenths up as we head into the right-hander. A little bit of hesitation, a little bit wide on the right-hander, but no one's lap is going to be perfect. Even though we got to aim for perfection here in this final lap. Through the final corner of Sector 2 we go. It is 5.6 tenths up, 4.3 tenths up on provisional pole. And now we do have to nail the final chicane. We could take it easy in our final run in Q2, but this time there is no such thing as taking it easy. We've got to nail it if we want to fight for pole position. Barry Borman with a 153.0 and our teammate Freddie Rasmussen with a 152.8. And that means we're going to be very close to that. We're going to be very close up to the line, and we just fall short of pole position. 700ths off our teammate Freddie Rasmussen. Yeah, a 1-2 for both me and Freddie. Unfortunately, we are not the ones in P1. Yeah. We just lacked a little bit. Maybe the running wide in the second last chicane cost us a little bit. I'm not sure where I lost, but it's not really important anyway. The gaps aren't quite big, as you can see. P4 to P5, 3 tenths, and then some big gaps behind there as well.
They will continue anyway. Just saying.
And yeah, onto the race we go. As you can see, we are going to be starting the hards. We just decided, me and Fred, to do the opposite. So Fred decided because he was starting ahead. So, you know, I decided to start on hards then, just do the opposite for a bit of fun. But as you can see, 3 people behind me on the medium. So this start might be a little bit of a struggle, especially due to the fact that there's 2 compounds difference around Spa. We're on the C1 compound, and the mediums are the C3 compound, which means we're going to be lacking a huge amount of grip on this opening lap. But all we need to do is just survive this opening lap. If we can survive this opening lap, we might just be in for a great race here. But it's crucial that we survive this opening lap. A little bit of an incident actually between
2 more medium runners behind you and not so far.
Danny Beresne and Alvaro Carreton there in Eau Rouge. And yeah, that actually might help us a little bit here. Might ease some pressure of us, because that means we were not under pressure into Lecombe. And now we got Thomas Ronhaar in P5 on the hards as well. And that actually helps us. You can see we're pushing here to make sure we stay in the DRS. That's crucial as well for a race here. At the same time, the medium tire will be really high. So if we do drop out of DRS here, no doubt we will be capable of getting back in. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And yeah, thus far, a little bit of understeer there, but thus far it looks like we are going to be capable of staying in the DRS quite comfortably. Now, originally I thought we might be in trouble at the start, but actually it was just me starting on the hards in the top 5. So P1, 2, P1, 3, 4, 5 were on mediums. And I think outside of that, there was just 2 other cars in the medium. So a lot of people on similar strategy to us, which might help us actually. Might help with less people undercutting us, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how it pans out. Medium runners did go very long in this first stint ahead of us, both Freddie and Barry, going until the end of lap 10, and that means they're gonna have fresh tires for the remainder of this race. They can push pretty much flat out the whole way, which might make it a little bit harder for us. We saw that in Suzuka, but yeah, we just have to focus on maximizing our own race now. Now Freddie and Barry have boxed. It is just qualifying laps. From now on, we are abusing these tires completely. We're gonna destroy them and squeeze every little bit of lap time out of them possible to minimize the undercut the medium hard cars are gonna have. And to minimize the undercut the hard and medium runners are gonna have on us that decide to box earlier than us, because I do not want to go too early so that we don't have any tires left in the end. I do want to have fresher tires, just like always. That's what I want. That's what I want my strategy to be. Lap 12, and just as I said, there's definitely going to be at least one car boxing earlier than us, and that's Ismail Fassi at the end of lap 12. together with another car boxing. I think that's Joris Cruisen in a Haas boxing onto mediums for a 10-lap stint. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 10 laps on the mediums.
So, 2 people in on half medium.
Around Spa is quite a lot. Again, due to the fact that it's the C3 compound, whereas we are on the C1. So
Yeah, just let them, I guess.
over the past few years, we haven't seen that a lot actually. We used to have it quite often back with the rainbow-colored Pirellis. You very often saw the ultra soft being used, and then the soft and the mediums on some tracks. But in the past years, it hasn't been too common. But it is
So, as
quite
it
interesting
stands, coming out 2 seconds behind the medium hard leader.
for league racing, I think so.
Yeah, so the issue is
um,
going to be overtaking, not catching them, right?
Yes, a front.
And yeah, again, more people have
The
boxed
same Necom, I think.
to the end of lap 13, and now
Yeah,
I
okay,
decided
let's box.
to box at the end of lap 14
Okay, we can take you this lap.
as well, onto a set of the mediums. 8 laps to the end. And yeah, just 8 laps, and that means we're probably going to be capable of just fully pushing to the end on this sort of set of the mediums. Thomas Ronard behind us, continuing for another lap, together with Nicolas Longuet. Julian Klaffenbach behind us, boxing together with us, but he is, I think, 3 seconds behind us. So he is, unless we're really going to be struggling with overtaking, not really going to be an issue for us in this race. And yeah, now we just have to wait and see where we come out. We've got the leader just passing us there, Barry Borman. Ismail Fassi and our teammate Freddie Rasmussen going side by side, and we're right behind Danny Bresnay. And we're straight away getting DRS. We're ahead
We're
of
better
the...
than side by side with the Haas, I guess.
Yep.
And yeah, we're ahead of
Yes,
Joris
corner.
Cruisen,
Otherwise,
who
we've been undercut next lap.
boxed lap 12.
5 laps pressure and damage now.
Yeah, we came out ahead of Joris Cruisen, who boxed at the end of lap 12. So 2-lap tire advantage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but again, the tire wear is quite high. It's a very long track, a lot of corners, which means tire wear is going to be high. A lot of places you can make up time with fresher tires. So that 2-lap tire advantage is huge around a track like Spa. Again, just making sure we got a full battery before we attack Danny Bresnay. We do not want any half-committed attacks here. We need easy passes. We need complete passes. No nonsense. We only need to overtake 4 cars, and yeah, we've got a huge tire advantage. So we need to get on with it here and pass Danny Bresnay. He's got a huge tire disadvantage. He's got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit, so his race is pretty much over anyway. We managed to get this moved on quite comfortably. I think Danny not taking any risk anymore because he knows his race is over. With a 10-second penalty, no need to risk a future penalty for the next race or any penalty points when your race is most likely going to end outside of the points anyway. So here we go then. Right behind our teammate Freddie Rasmussen, who got passed on the last lap by Ismail Fassi. And yeah, I just want to have a little look here in Camel Straight, but I saw Freddie was going to go on the attack again. So I decided, you know what, let's sit back a little bit longer and see if Freddie is going to be capable of passing Ismail. Because if he does, then Ismail's going to be low on battery, and that makes our move easier as well. So again, just sitting back, recharging the battery, and just waited until Freddie had a good overtaking opportunity at the end of Camel Straight. Couldn't get the move quite done on this lap though. And as you can see, he's recharging the battery because he's flashing.
He's not going to be fight.
I got the memo.
And yeah, I instantly realized with Freddie turning off his battery on the exit there that he was not putting up a fight there. And this way, it makes it a lot easier for us to hunt down Ismail Fassi and Barry Borman. And the tricky thing is, because Ismail and Barry are 1-2, they are teammates, obviously. They are in a prime position to finish this race in 1-2 because they can work together. Ismail's going to leave a big gap in the middle sector. Barry will push in the middle sector. And that way, Ismail won't get dirty air, but he will still get DRS on the long back straights. And just due to the to how this game works. It's so hard to overtake that way. But we've got a big tire advantage, and we're going to go on the attack in turn 1. We're going to go all the way around the outside, break deep, and we're ahead of the apex. And that means we get to move on.
That's right.
And yeah, as you can hear my engineer Liam say, we've got more battery as well than Ismail Fassi. And I think that's how we got the move done anyway, because Ismail was forced to recharge the battery there. We're going to go for the move into the comp section up to P1 with just under 6 laps to go. Purple first sector. And straight away, we're going to have to recharge the battery.
Barry's tire is going to be fast from the last lap.
And yeah, you can hear me ask there, is Barry's tire going to be faster on the last lap? And that's because he's on the hard C1 compound. They're not going to have a big tire drop off. We will. So the reason I'm asking this is it worth to risk pushing my tires, my battery, break out of DRS, so we don't have a DRS fight on the last lap? Camel Straight is so long that if we're going to be leading on the last lap and Barry has fresher tires, it's going to be nearly impossible to keep the lead.
Yes, and from he will have better tires.
And as you can
and second to last as well.
Hear Liam say that last 2 laps, Barry will have a tire advantage. And that is crucial information for me, because now I know once my battery hits a decent amount, we're going to send it. We're going to fully attack. Full push, all risk. And yeah, the next 2 laps are going to decide if we're going to win this race or not. So out of turn 1, 85% battery. We're not going to completely blast our battery here on the Camel Straight, because I don't want Barry to realize that we're going for it. I don't want him to realize that we're going to try and break DRS on this lap. So we are okay if he is 5 tenths, 4 tenths behind into sector 2, but that is when we pull the pin and we fully send it. No tire saving for the next 2 laps from here on. 3 tenths he's behind, and that means we're going to need 7 tenths in this middle sector if we want to break out of DRS. And as you can see, just through the comp, we've extended the gap to 7 tenths. And we're going to need another 3-4 tenths if we want to be capable of winning this race. Full battery as we head out of no name into pool 1. And you can see the gap is over a second. And at this point, Barry has realized we are sending it. We're trying to break out of DRS, but it's too late because we still got a tire advantage. We're sitting on 100% battery, no tire saving, and the gap is just edging over 1 second through the final corner of sector 2. We go a little bit of a moment as we head into sector 3. 1.1 seconds is the gap as we head into
the same lap as you.
Blanchimont. It's a 1.2 second gap, and we've got the battery to keep pushing. And I think Barry realized at this point that he's not going to be capable of keeping this up for another lap. We can. We've got the battery. We only used like 20% on this last lap. We nearly set the fast lap of the race, I think 3 times off, but obviously we didn't fully use our battery. We didn't have DRS. And now the gap is 1.4 seconds out of La Source. 1.5 as we head into Eau Rouge. And yet just over a lap later, I lost our feedback into the final chicane, which cost us a few tenths.
It would be nice if they fix that at some point.
I think 6 tenths, something like that. But yeah, no idea. It just happens. I'm always, especially when we head towards the final few laps, I'm ready for the force feedback to cut out so I don't lose it in a high-speed corner or something. But yeah, into the final lap. You can see the gap is 4.7 seconds. We managed to extend the gap to 4.6. We pushed relatively hard, but nothing too crazy. Obviously within the back of my mind, the force feedback could cut out again at any moment. But yeah, probably one of our most dominant drives in PSGL and F1 Esports. 4.5 seconds is the gap to P2. Last time, I think we won a race with that margin was in Jeddah PSGL on F1 2021, but it was wet conditions. I don't think I ever won on PC PSGL with such margin in the dry. And yeah, the gap is still extending. We still got the tires to keep pushing. We still got the DRS or the ERS to keep extending this gap. So yeah, last sector, 5.3 seconds to the gap. And yeah, this was pretty much a perfect race. Apart from the little force feedback moment, I don't think we could have done much more
Finishing the
to
pits lane.
win this race.
Please not.
And yeah, decided not to finish in the pits. But it's going to be a first win on F1 25 league racing, actually. If we do not count Ironman. I actually don't even know if we won an Ironman race. I don't remember. But it's going to be our first win in PSGL this season. And it's by a decent margin as well.
Nice. Well done.
And
The pace.
yeah, we managed to hugely extend the gap to Otis in the championship. And we take the championship lead as well from Freddy, who I think got screwed a little bit by strategy. Doesn't seem like the medium hard strategy worked too well for him, at least this race. And yeah, that means we're now leading the championship by quite a margin, I think so actually. 7 points, as you can see there, to Freddy, but at the same time, he has won 4 races in a row. If he wins 4 in a row again, it's going to be very difficult to still be in this championship fight. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, as Freddy has been faster, especially in qualifying. So it's going to be very difficult to keep this up. But we're going to try. It looks like this championship is going to be between me and Freddy. I think it's going to have to turn out really crazy if Barry or Otis still pop into this championship fight. But you never know. As long as it's mathematically possible, I think you cannot count them out. So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.